Hey, what's up, Facebook? It's been a while since I've spoke to y'all. You know me, I've been busy as hell, stay busy, always on top of things, keeping things on a copacetic level for myself. Life has been good, and I hope life has been good for you too. I'm touching bases with you guys because you know I have been making a series of predictions on the Trump presidency that has been at best or at worst, to say, ominous, and they have all been coming true. Even the analysis before I started making the predictions they were classified as predictions on March 1st, March 25th, and I believe I did an update on some of those predictions, weighing in on them on April 17th. Today is May the 3rd. It's my birthday. I've been getting a lot of happy birthday wishes from everybody on Facebook. Hello. I really appreciate the birthday wishes. I'm not one to really celebrate my birthday. I'm not one I wear a watch, but I'm not slaves to the watch. I do have a Gregorian calendar. I'm not a slave to the calendar. Try to rule myself by a higher sense of time, a time that is not external, but more internal. Now, with that being said, I'm going to weigh in on some of the things that I've said, reiterate some of those predictions. Trump not getting none of his policies pushed through. Big failure on health care. Prediction of mine came true. The escalation of violence, a potential violence where military intervention is now taking place involving North Korea, came true. And the unexpected intel and sophistication of ISIS, which also came true. You know, where they all of a sudden was discovered after my prediction with a laptop that they had a bomb in it that they were able to get through any airport scanner. A very high technological stuff came true. There's three others that I made that two of them are really starting to bear fruit. One of them have not begun to bear its fruit yet, but it will come true as well. Those three is the fact that the investigation involving Trump's campaign and collusion with Russia is going to get very, very ugly. That's a prediction that is starting to bear buds. It is in the springtime of coming true, and summer is fastly approaching, trust me. The fact that our president will have a mental breakdown, that one is starting to bear buds, and it is in the springtime of its fulfillment and will come true. Summer is fast on the way for that one. The other one that is very close, but more in the far future, is the coup de grace, or the attempt to overthrow Vladimir Putin in his own country. That's the third one that I made. Now I'm going to weigh in on the other two, because I got to finish getting myself ready for work this morning. Got to go in and do a couple of hours at the job. Hang out with some very beautiful people, all great friends of mine. Can't wait to see them this morning. Look forward to seeing them every day. I'm going to go to the investigation with the collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, which now the journalists are starting to call Trumpgate, due to the fact that this guy, Michael Flynn, and for short, why don't we just call him MF, okay? Now, this MF took money from Russia. This MF took money from Turkey and didn't report it to the Security Department before he took his job as National Security Advisor in the White House for the president. Nor did the Trump presidential cabinet do a good job at vetting this guy before they allowed him to have this job. My honest opinion is I think they hired him due to the fact that Obama fired him, and anybody that Obama fired was hireable for them. I guess it was their way to get back at Obama, and it blew up in their face like raw eggs, because now they got egg on their face behind this guy committing what we're looking at as probably potential felonies. Now, he did ask for immunity before these potential felonies came to light. I think he knew that they were come to light. When his lawyer said he has a story to tell, I think he does have a story to tell. Now, the smart way when you come to accept a plea. Give a person immunity, by the way. I'm sorry, not plea, but give them immunity. Is that, number one, the best way to get the best bang for your buck is make sure that you don't have the fox in the foxhole, but you have the fox in the fox trap. Meaning, you are looking at time. We got you. Which also brings up the second point and makes it juicy. Where the only way for you to get out of this is you have to give up somebody bigger than you. And who's bigger than the National White House Security Advisor than the Vice President and the President himself? So whatever you got to tell us, you're going to wind up giving up somebody that's bigger than you are. We know it. And they've got Michael Flynn to that point. This is why I say it is budding. It is budding in the springtime and about to bear summertime fruit. Because once those charges are slapped on him and they grant him immunity, you can best believe that he's got information that is probably going to bring down somebody, excuse me, as high as our vice president or president is concerned. And that can be bad for Donald Trump if he's implicated in any compromising positions that Russia may have him with. I said that this thing would get ugly. I said it would rock the very foundation of the foundation of the base of people that follow Trump. Close to 30% of those people are going to walk away from Trump when this thing gets ugly. There's not just going to be daggers coming out to stab each other in the back. The daggers are not going to be jugged. They're going to be thrown at each other. These individuals are going to start turning on each other like wolves, and it's going to get very, very ugly. And I see Donald Trump's numbers tanking to a favorable level of 29%. I see probably a good 60% of his voter base really staying with Trump during this. And I see this setting in motion the other prediction that Trump will have a nervous breakdown in his office. And that's starting to bear fruit. You look at the man now, this 100 days has put a whooping on him. When you interview him, he babbles. He doesn't say anything that is really unintelligible. His babbling gets unintelligible. He makes accusations about historical references that are not true. He said if Andrew Jackson came along a couple of years later, there wouldn't have been a civil war. He said nobody never asked why was there a civil war. I got asked that question on my 4th grade history test, and so did the rest of the class. Some of us got it right. Some of us got it wrong. But we were all asked that question in the 4th grade. So I don't know where he's coming from with that. And then he doesn't realize, he says Andrew Jackson was angry because of what he saw going on with the Civil War. Now, here's 2 problems with that. Number one, Andrew Jackson died 16 years before the Civil War even took place. So unless Trump had communication with the man's ghost, he can't tell me that Andrew Jackson was mad because he saw what was going on. And number 2, Andrew Jackson was a slave owner. Not just a slave owner, he was a slave beater. I happen to have tons of documentary on this man right over here in my educational section of my house. The man had mulatto slaves that he would pay to beat the black slaves, and he would pay the mulatto slave an allotment of money if whoever beat their slave the worst basically got paid extra money for beating the slaves. So not only was he a slave owner, he was a slave beater, and he was an Indian killer. So of course there wouldn't have been a civil war because Andrew Jackson wouldn't have gave a damn about black people being in slavery because he had slaves. Okay? Which shows not just the ignorance and stupidity of this man, it shows a total disconnect of reality, period. Because common sense should have told him that none of the things that he says makes true, and he had the nerve to have this man's picture on his wall behind him when he's talking and giving interviews, and he knows absolutely nothing about the man. Number 2, this guy goes on to say and give an interview and says, I like my old life. I miss my old life. I had a good life before here. I didn't know this job would be this hard. I thought it would be easier. You thought losing money in the business world and hosting The Apprentice would be easier than being president of the United States. God damn it. Come on, man. I don't know anybody in the world that would say something that damn stupid. But it shows a disconnection of reality with this man. I miss my old life. Shows me that this new life is starting to wear on him. And when all this come to pass, and it will come to pass, Trump will have that nervous breakdown that I talked about. He will have that nervous breakdown. It is going to come. The man is too thin-skinned, and he's not prepared for the office that he's in. And the sad thing about it is the Republicans that continue to stick by him, journalists that continue to defend him, after day that he says this quackamany bullcrap out of his mouth. You know, I mean, to me, it's just disgraceful to see a man not walk around with his own backbone. Not be man enough to say, no, man, you lied. No, man, that's dishonest. The founding fathers, if they was here, they would turn over in their graves of what they're saying. And this is the fault of the American citizenry, because as a whole, through Republican parties and Democratic parties, we have been dumbed down like a mother. You know, we are so dumbed down. They have erased the idea of civics being taught. When I was a young child growing up, civics was taught as a natural thing. It was a part of the community teachings. It was a part of education. It was a part of the social structure and fiber of your house. I remember getting up in the morning and finding stacks of vote for Congressman such and such, or vote for Councilman such and such signs in our house, because that's just how politically active my family, parents were. Having these councilmen and stuff come to the house, and having groups of people who are influential in the neighborhood come to the house to hear this person speak. Us asking and getting us on the phone to call and ask these people, could we put a sign in their yard? This was part of natural life. That's gone now. We don't teach these sort of civics anymore. And our duty to remember that these people work for us. They're not rock stars that we worship. They work for us. And the minute they don't do their job, it is our job to stick our ideological, social, political foot up there behind. We forgot that. And so we've become dumbed down. In the Republican Party, more so than the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Democrat and I have anything against a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm saying that because it's a fact. Because anytime that you will vote for a man that stands up and tell you, if they can't fix it in Washington, I guess I got to do it myself, and you believe he's going to do it, it shows a stupidity, a profound, abysmal knowledge in you as a Republican to think that one man could fix anything in Washington, when if you had any idea of how Washington works, you would know he was lying. Anybody who has any idea about how Washington works know that no one person could do anything on their own. And the founding fathers made it that way. They made it with checks and balances. They made it to be difficult. They didn't want it to be easy. And you are showing an abysmal knowledge for you to run out there and vote for a man that's going to tell you he going to do it all himself. And it's going to be easy. And you applauding this man. You got a shirt with his name on it. That shows a profound stupidity of how your government works. Like I said, the founding fathers would be turning over in their graves if they had any idea of what they've seen going on right now. Seriously, they would be turning over in their graves. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get up, get myself up and get ready, finish getting ready for it, because if I don't do it now, I could preach. I'll be here for another half an hour. For real. I know me. I get to talking, and them ideas get to flowing, and that's just me. That's just how I get down. But I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to get my day off, jumping off and kicking. Get to work. Have me some fun there and enjoy the rest of my day. And I want all you guys to have a fantastic Wednesday today. Remember, Become your fellow American's keeper. Forget the bull crap that you have been taught, that your politicians and these individuals who are walking, living, breathing screw-ups have taught you, divide you. While they have it all, and you scramble for whatever scraps they leave you on the table. Okay? Love y'all all. Take care of yourself. Have a good day. Peace out, everybody. Love ya.